Yeah, thanks a lot, Zanny.
Yeah. Zanny.
What the f, dude? Y'all gamers are gonna die next game, and I swear to God, I'm gonna record the eulogy right here.
Alright, y'all. Today's gonna be like a weird video. I'm just gonna be ranting the whole time, so if you want to see that, then stick around. If not, then that's cool too. But I want to talk about trials. Because Dauntless trials, I feel, are not what everyone is expecting them to be, but they're still serving a good purpose. And even for me, like, they're not what I expected them to be, but they're still serving their purpose. And I think that purpose is like to keep players coming back at least once a week. That's pretty much what I think is happening right now, because we have this time-gated content where we have these rewards locked behind trials, and you get marks to unlock them. You only get X amount of marks per week, and the stuff in the store costs a lot of marks. So you're coming back at least one time every week to do the trials if you care about the stuff in the store, which the stuff in the store is good. So it makes sense to me, like, this is what's happening. And I think that trials are something that people keep thinking, oh, I wish they were fun. I agree. I wish trials were fun too. And they are fun to some people if you like the challenge, I guess. If you're just like one of those people that want something to be brutally hard for no reason sometimes, then yeah, it's fun for you. For a lot of other people, not that enjoyable. Getting one shot by everything under the sun, or getting close to one shot, I should say, not that enjoyable. It's weird. It's weird to me that that's happening right now. But the design of trials is meant to be for the, what do they say? Veteran Slayer, okay? So, Veteran Slayer. This content's meant to be hard. It's meant to be for the players that want a crazy challenge, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the whole design. They have normal trials that are, you know, they're basically like a little bit more of a hopped up version of Heroic Plus, and that's where most of the gear is locked behind, or that's where all the items that pretty much give you power, i.e. cells, specials, mods, all that stuff is behind the normal trials, which I respect that. I'm really happy they did that, because if everything was locked behind Dauntless trials, a lot of players would be upset right now. I'm talking a lot of players. But aside from trials being sort of weird, which I'll discuss that a bit later too, I think my biggest problem with trials, honestly, is the fact that potions are just scuffed right now. And my problem with potions is that you don't get enough materials to make potions, and you're going through so many potions in a single trial, it's ridiculous. Like, if you go into a trial, if you lose that trial, if you're trying to get a good time, you're going to at least lose out on freaking 3 potions, 3 tonics, at least. In a good trial, you'll waste, you know, maybe 2 or 3, or maybe 6 or 9, I should say. 6 or 9 tonics. In a trial where you're still learning, you're just like, you don't have the formula down yet, you'll waste even more than that, like 12, 15 tonics. It's ridiculous. Like, there's so much stuff, and the problem too is that the tonics that are good, which is going to be Frenzy, Frenzy's like the main tonic in most fights. That tonic costs you 2 wrathwort and 2 skybloom. Before, it cost you 1 skybloom, 2 wrathwort. That's not a big change, right? But my problem is, why would they change that when we already have a problem with freaking materials? Like, we already have this huge deficit in getting materials to do trials, to actually grind them, because you're supposed to grind trials. Like a lot of players can't even get a good trial run in a couple attempts. Some players it's really easy, other players it's not. So I feel like it's really messed up that we have this huge deficit in creating potions, or in getting materials for potions, and it's not really being looked at. Like, they're looking at it, but there's no solution yet. It's been 8 weeks. And that is my biggest problem, I think, right now. Because other things I'm not happy with, right? But that's fine. Like, the difficulty of trials, whatever. Like, I think another problem I have with trials, aside from the potions, which is one of my biggest problems, is that we keep adding tremors to behemoths, man. And I feel like just slapping tremors on the behemoth is just not that enjoyable. The only behemoth in the entire game that I think tremors belong on is Rachel and Asher. I don't think they belong on even Skarn. I think tremors on Skarn is just, it doesn't feel good. It feels like garbage. Tremors on Shockjaw and Trials feels like garbage. And I mean Skarn in like the regular game. Like, Skarn having tremors, which it's had ever since Rockfall Skarn, I don't agree with that. But anyway, tremors on Shockjaw and Zyga and Trials doesn't feel good at all. It felt like actual garbage. Is it more of a challenge? Sure. But it doesn't make sense to me. It's like, why do this? Why not add tremors? If you want to add tremors, why not add something like tremors and tailor it to the behemoth? Like, okay, so the current trial is Rezakiri. For Rezakiri, you could have tremors, but don't have them be like a straight line that's super like crazy timing to dodge. Have it be a mechanic that punishes you if you're too far away from Resakiri. Have it be like a circular freaking expanding like a radiant wave that comes towards you on the ground. Something like that. Like, I play this game called WildStar, okay? Whenever I stream on a certain site called Twitch, people are like, I always talk about WildStar. And WildStar had these really fun mechanics, and they had like these puzzles where bosses would send like these waves at you, and there was always like this cut path you could go through. It wasn't always the same sometimes, but like there was a path you had to like figure out where it is and then run to it and then weave through the mechanic. In this case, we have iframes, so you don't really have to do that. You just send out a wave, and you can make them dodge and dodge and dodge again. But maybe that would be ridiculous, because dodging right now, stamina in the game right now is kind of scuffed, I think. I think stamina needs to get looked at, because some weapons use way too much stamina, other weapons don't use any stamina, and it feels like garbage to play the weapons that use a lot of stamina. It does not feel good. The fact that you're attacking a behemoth, and you can't dodge afterwards, to me that feels like garbage. Anyway, I think that if you're going to add a mechanic to a behemoth, if you're going to take a mechanic from an existing behemoth, like Tremors from Rachel Nasher, or Skarn in this case, just tailor it to the behemoth, like make it different. I really like how they made the Smollusks different. They gave us Radiant Smollusks and Shock Smollusks before. That's cool, like I like that. And the current Smollusk I think are really fair. I think they're really cool, really interesting. They only blind you for, I guess, 2 or 3 seconds. That's completely fine, that's completely fair. I kind of enjoy that. I don't like the hitbox, I don't like the fact that they body block me, but I can get over that, right? Tremors being on Resakiri, I'm not a fan of. I don't enjoy that at all. I want to see different mechanics in Trials, and I think that some of these mechanics don't feel good because Trials are also a timed thing. They're a timed endeavor. And it's funny because if you're playing Trials solo, there are a lot of weapons that can't even get a sub 3 most weeks. The weapons that can normally get sub 3 are going to be Hammer, because Hammer's Oonga Boonga. It's broken, really strong. Axe sometimes, not often, but sometimes. I guess Chain Blades sometimes. It depends. Normally it's just going to be Hammer, and when it's not Hammer, when Hammer can't get a sub 3, it's going to be Repeaters, maybe. And it's weird to me that we have this like time constraint in solos when most weapons can't even get a sub 3. Warpipe can't even get a freaking sub 5 most of the time. It's crazy. I feel like if you're doing solo, the challenge is there, especially in the current difficulty. If you're not going to change anything about the current difficulty, solos should be completion based. Keep the leaderboard, right? I'm not saying get rid of the leaderboard. Keep the leaderboard, but give people the marks for completing it. If you complete it, you should just get 300 still marks. If you're doing Dauntless mode in solo, you should get 300 still marks for completing it. Let's say under freaking 10 minutes. How about that? I feel that's just an idea, and I feel like that's more fair than freaking under 3 minutes BS, because that's just ridiculous. Like, it makes sense for groups or whatever, because groups are also kind of Oonga Boonga, but for freaking solo, most weapons can't even get sub 3. You just can't. You have to get some crazy good RNG, or, well, Warpipe can't do it, Repeaters can't do it in this week, Chain Blades I don't think can do it. Like, a lot of weapons can't get sub 3 often. So it's just weird how Trials are set up right now. It confuses me. And I'm not even upset about the fact that we have all these rewards like that are time gated. I actually don't mind that, because I know why it's happening. They want the content to last, because they're probably working on other stuff right now. Like, they made a post saying that everything in Trials is gonna, like, that's all they're, okay, so all the stuff in the Trials store is all they're gonna add for the immediate future, excluding the new Gauntlet freaking cosmetics. That's not a big deal. It's just cosmetic stuff, which is gonna be cool, but still. So that's fine, right? That means that they're, oh, okay, we're slowing down on the Dauntless Trial stuff. We're gonna go ahead and expand to something else. Do we know what that is yet? No. My hope is to something that's just, I want more casual based stuff, man. I want more casual based stuff. I want stuff that people are actually excited about, people want to do, because Trials are just not that. They're a challenge. Like, so they're hitting their goal of being a challenge, like being challenging content, but they're just not the most enjoyable content in the world. And I feel like that's not the goal. So it's not, it's like, I feel like that was never the goal, I don't think. I think it may have been like a side quest, if you will, but it was never like the end-all be-all goal. I think the goal was to have challenging content for the in-game players, and they achieved that. I just think that a lot of players weren't expecting what we got. So I think it's actually on the players in this case. I would blame myself, honestly. I think that for one, I play Dauntless too much. Like, it's an open beta game. I play the game too much. I think that the folks that play the game too much, we want more from it, but it's our fault for playing the game too much in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So it's just weird. It's in a weird state. I think I'm done rambling though, guys. That's all I'm gonna say. So far for trials, to summarize this video, I do not mind the time gating of the rewards. The thing I really am upset about is the fact that potions are scuffed right now. Getting materials for potions is awful, and I guess the fact that, like, tremors, just mechanics that feel like tremors, where it's just you just slap on a modifier that's not enjoyable. Also, I forgot this one thing. It's the whiteout mechanic from Scrave, where your whole screen turns white. That's not fun to watch. It's not really fun to play with. It's not fun to watch as a viewer. It just doesn't. It's not inspiring. I keep saying that recently, but it's not an inspiring mechanic to deal with. So I feel like they should look into mechanics to make them just better. Like, trimmers can be cool. Like, trimmers, when you're playing hammer, you jump over trimmers, it looks cool. But anyway, guys, I'm done. That's the video, guys. If you liked it, be sure to leave a like, maybe comment down below, and share this video. Share my rant. Send it to the people. The people need it, man, because it felt pretty good to talk about this kind of stuff. But hopefully, you know, it inspires y'all to just to think about it, and to think about, you know, different viewpoints maybe. But anyway, that's the video, guys. And if you want to support this kind of content, maybe not this exactly, but content around Dauntless, I should say, then you can use my Epic Games Support code in the Epic Games Store, or in the in-game Dauntless Store when making purchases. Everything you buy using my code costs you nothing extra than the purchase, and it supports me very greatly. So thank you so much for doing that. And it's also the month of September, which is called September for Twitch. If you want my in-game partner Flare, go to Twitch and be a tier 1 sub, or gifted, prime, doesn't matter. But tier 1 subs are half off. They are $2.50 right now, plus a little bit of tax. But that's the case. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.